up, Walsh America? I'm Jaxon.
And I'm Taylor Gruber.
And this is News 27. And now for this week's top story. Channel 9 News out of Denver recently visited our video production class and spoke to us about news broadcasting and other journalism.
We were able to ask questions about their experiences and how things were done in the 9 News studio in Denver.
Later, our very own Frank Fair interviewed Mr. Clark about his career in news broadcasting and asked some very interesting questions.
Now let's go check out some of that footage.
Kyle Clark, I'm a reporter at 9 News, and this is Ken Mostek, who is one of our photojournalists at 9 News. So we came down today to take some pictures of the wind turbine, and then we're going up to Holly for a day tomorrow to do some follow-up 3 years later after the tornado, see how folks are doing there, and see where things stand. So that's why we came down here. Had no idea that you guys had a video production class until I was looking on your website. And it's pretty cool. We want to see what you guys do and see if we can be helpful at all to you guys, because whether you know it or not, you're going to be helpful to us. See if we can answer any of your questions about what we do on a daily basis, what people in other jobs similar to ours do, and hear about what you guys are up to.
Works is you know, Kyle is one of our reporters, so he will write the stories, and he'll you know, whatever I shoot, he'll take the tape and he'll go through every shot that I shoot, and he'll listen to every sound and write it all down, and then he'll put a script together. I'm on the production side, so I take all the pictures. I worry about all the sound and all the audio, and I worry about the lighting.
We want to hear what questions you have, but I understand that Frank's going to be under the bus, and he's going to have to ask the first couple questions of us. So, you want to interview us real quick?
All right. Hello, this is Frank Fair of News 27, and I'm here with Mr. Clark of Channel 9 News. I'm sorry I have forgotten your first name.
It's Kyle. It's okay.
Hello, Kyle. So, Kyle, how does it feel to come to Walsh?
The air is clean.
Where did you come from, first of all? Where were you born?
Where was I born originally? Western New York.
Western New York.
So closer to Canada than to New York City. Town of 4,000 people.
Really?
Named Lions.
That's fascinating. So, Mr. Clark, how expensive is that camera right there that you guys use?
I've heard photographers say, and I don't know if they're just encouraging me not to break it or whether they're being serious, but I've heard the number $30,000.
Wow.
So that is why you never want to drop it, get it wet, or back over it with a news car. Yeah.
Why would you back it over with a news car?
Because you're in a hurry, and we're always in a hurry.
Oh, I see. I see. Now, what is the most interesting story you have ever covered?
I should have been expecting that question. That reflects poorly on me that I was not ready for that question. The most interesting story that I've covered. The most interesting story that I've covered since I was here in Colorado. Went to Saguache. Where they have a you don't know where Saguache is?
I have no idea where Saguache is.
It's Saguache is that way. It's in the San Luis Valley. It's that way. But there's a guy there who runs a newspaper where he still sets the type by hand, like letter by letter by letter by letter, instead of using a computer or any kind of machine. And he still makes the newspaper just like they made it 150 years ago. He's the last newspaper like that in the entire country.
I see. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, another question. How long have you worked for Channel 9 News?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Good 2.5 years?
Pretty solid 2.5 years minus a couple days.
What is the worst story you've ever covered? A depressing story, anything like that?
Well, you're making a strong run at number one right here. You are. No, I mean the worst story is no story. I mean, as long as something is happening, we can explain to people, hey, here's what happened. That's the worst story, because then you have to pick up the phone and you have to say, we have nothing. So that stinks.
I see. Have you ever blown a story out of proportion?
Have I ever blown a story out of proportion? Not on purpose. Not on purpose. I think if I'm being honest about it, it's somewhat inevitable because your propensity is to find the story.
Now, I've heard recently that Barack Obama passed that medical blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make me feel? That's a very good question. I'm not going to tell you how that makes me feel, because that's another part of the job, in the sense that people rely on us to go out there and to be impartial about day-to-day events. They don't want my opinion. You can ask me any question.
All right.
Nothing's out of bounds here.
I feel like I can judge people by character.
Okay.
There's one particular way.
Okay.
What brand of briefs do you wear?
I was not prepared for that question. The comfortable kind.
Oh, very nice. No rigid, nothing, polyester, cotton.
Comfort is key. Comfort is key. Ken and I are out in the field. We're moving around a lot. Comfort is key. Comfort is always key. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can I offer you a suggestion?
Sure.
Okay. When you ask people questions, when you interview people, always ask questions that satisfy your own interest, your own curiosity. Any question that you have, ask the question. Doesn't matter if you think it's silly or stupid or whatever, ask the question.
Thank you for that suggestion. Now, I will take that into hand, and let's ask the people.
Yeah.
Any questions you would like to ask Mr. Clark?
What college did you go to major in what you're doing?
I went to Ithaca College. It's a small private college in upstate New York. They've got a communications school there. It's down the road from Syracuse.
Are you aspiring to be an anchor?
I aspire to be an anchor on Saturday and Sunday nights, which is when they have assigned me to anchor. I do the 5 o'clock and 9 and 10 o'clock shows on Saturday and Sunday. I do not aspire to do it 5 days a week. I like the variety of reporting and anchoring.
What's the fastest that you've ever had to turn around a story from assignment to hitting the air?
I've gotten an assignment, been at the scene 10 minutes later, and been on 10 minutes after that. You must have come up with another question by now. You like to talk clearly, and you've been sitting here quietly for 10 minutes.
Alrighty. What is the biggest mishap you've ever had at a story? If you've ever said something that you're not proud of on TV.
I was headbutted by a guy in handcuffs once, which probably would qualify as a mishap. You know, I'm happy to say that I stood back up, you know, again with a microphone, but I was not expecting the dude in cuffs to, you know, headbutt me.
See, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you. It's been good to be here.
This has been Frank Fair with Mr. Clark from Channel 9 News.